Hello there guys, and welcome to Season 7's qualifying session towards the Daytona 500. New drivers and new cars, and we got some new teams back, some drivers back, some new drivers, some rookies, new paint schemes, new everything here in Daytona, and we're all getting ready to start it off here in the qualifying session here in Daytona. As some cars are rolling off, there's Vito Corlong in the 21 car. He is returning out on the racetrack. This is going to be a very big speed weeks, as 4 guys did not make the pre-qualifying session. So they will not call 4 guys, meaning well, we got 4 guys. I will get to them in a little bit. They did not make the pre-qualifying session, so they'll get their chance to try and make the Daytona 500 in the Gatorade Duels, though. Whoever doesn't, this qualifying session is very big, though. You gotta finish in the top 35 in this qualifying session to be locked into the Daytona 500 if you want to race. Otherwise, you're gonna be sent home packing, and you won't be able to watch. You're gonna be watching the Daytona 500, and you won't be even in it. So yeah, a lot of guys out on the racetrack trying to form up a pack here and try and make a fast lap here, as qualifying is going to be very big on some of these guys. There's Brandon McGuire in the 16 car. He is a last-minute driver. He is driving for the Johnson Enterprises with Richard Johnson and himself right there, along with Jacob Hart and the 19. That's a 3-car team out there on the racetrack right now. There's Austin Ogo in the 5 car all by himself, though. To make yourself get real fast, you need to get in a pack here. If you can get in a pack and make a fast lap, you can get yourself into the top 35 in this qualifying session and be locked into the Daytona 500. There's Drew Austin and the Jimmy Means Racing 52 Chevrolet. There's the Gunsling Motorsports team of Daniel Day, and there's also the 1-car operational Michael Walton pulling out. Hendrick Motorsports car of Joseph Clark coming out on the racetrack. He's going to partner up with teammate Austin Ogo here in a minute. See if they can't get a fast lap here. As here's a very big pack here, as these guys are probably going to try and form up and get a good pack going here for to get a good speed here. As there's Jordan Franzen in the one race not the one race still car, but this is going to be a part-time team for Jordan Franzen. As this car is somewhat stabled in the Jimmy Means Racing team, as they're out on the racetrack trying to get a draft off Sean Henley. As that car is not the very fastest car, so he's going to try and get into the top 35 so he doesn't have to go into the Gatorade Duels and not be unlocked in. There's Randy Carpenter along with the 75 of Jordan Franzen, as they are not going to race full time, but they're going to try and qualify into the Daytona 500. There's another Gunsling Motorsports car of Brad Johnson in the 51 car, right now running 36th on the racetrack. He needs to pick it up if he wants to try and make the Daytona 500 by qualifying speed. If he doesn't make it by qualifying speed, he's going to have to go into the Gatorade Duel and try and race his way in. By racing your way into the Gatorade Duel, if you're not in the top 35, you're going to have to be the top 2 Go homers. Finish in the top 2 of the Go homers right here. As this is a kind of big pack right here, so Brad Johnson should be able to pick it up here, coming back to the line and be inside the top 35. Let's see where he comes across right here. 36, he picks it up, but he's still outside the top 35. Jordan Franzen in the underfunded team in the Jimmy Means Racing stable, he's also picked it up some. As Sean Galligan in the 47 is leading this little pack here. That's a big pack right there. Ashley Mace has got to pick it up if she wants to make the Daytona 500. And that Superflow pink and white 46, right now 40th on the racetrack. Jake Williams, the Jimmy Means Racing stable. running right now very slow on the, not very slow, he's actually doing fairly well. I'm pretty sure he was on a draft with somebody, but he's 25th on the board right now in for the Daytona 500 as it stands. Here's another fairly pack right here, 4 cars right here. As this is somewhat of a, this is a practice where it's a practice slash qualifying session, trying to get your cars prepared for the Gatorade Duel and also for the Daytona 500. There is the 36 in Nicholas Guerrera. I think I'm saying that right. 41st on the racetrack. He's only beaten one guy on the racetrack so far, but he picks it up, drafting off the guys here. The Faith Motorsports stable has been very slow so far in testing here, and right now the 36 car barely getting a draft off them guys up in front of them, getting 36th on the board right now. And there's Charles Sanford right there for the Hendrick stable, right now 28th on the board with Sky Commons there. Hayden Klein, 34th actually on the board. He has to pick it up if he wants to make the 500. Right now drafting off the Corweiser racing car of Jordan Davis. The 52 team of Drew Austin is on pit road. And look here, Stephen Pollard III, who has been really slow like all speed weeks. He right now runs 7th on the board. Jacob Hart 23rd. Rohey Vidaravu 26th. Michael White right there in the Petty Enterprises car 30th. Eugene Max is the fastest guy on the board right now. If you finish on the top 2 in the qualifying session, you'll be on the front row for the Daytona 500. And boy, we're getting kind of racy right here in this low pack here. Nearly contact there with teammates Eugene Max and James Silverfox there. Across the start-finish line there. There's Dylan Young in the 70 car. That team has also been fairly slow with the Jimmy Maines Racing team. He right now is in the top 35 right now as it runs in qualifying runs. He's 32nd. But he's going to have to live on a prayer that it stands that way because his car is not very fast. Down to 33rd he goes. Vito Corlong, the only Mexican in the field, if that's racist at all. But Vito Corlong in the 21 car, he's 41st. Right in between the Corweiser Racing teammates of Mason Gordon and Dom Capps. So teaming up with them guys in this practice slash qualifying session, probably a smart idea by Vito. And here's some guys that also has been fairly slow. Michael Walton and Joseph Clark. Clark is a Hendrick Motorsports car, but he right now is fairly off the pace. You would think they would hand him some more equipment and try and get that car locked in as he dives down low at Michael Walton here. Randy Carpenter in the 98 car has to pick it up as he runs right now. 41st on the racetrack's not going to get him nowhere. His car has been fairly slow as that car is kind of teamed up with the Gunselin Motorsports to get their motors there with Randy Carpenter there. He's trying to qualify his way in. He was one of the guys that barely got in by pre-qualifying session. Now he's in the qualifying session here, running fairly off the pace though. Daniel Day, Brandon McGort, and Jake Smith trying to work together right here. As all of them right here are inside the top 35, so good run by them three to work together. And we have a wreck up further up forward here, I think. There's smoke up forward there. What happened right there? Not quite sure, but there's smoke right there. Someone has been doing spin-outs right there. We're going to take a look right here, like, quick. Well, this is what's going to happen right here with these guys running side by side. Nicholas Cordova's, Nick Mace, they make contact, and wham! What is it? Boy, Cordova's just shot right up into Nick Mace there. Nick Mace running 11th on the racetrack, so he should be good to make the race. And Nicholas Cordova's runs 10th, so they both should be fine of making the race here, but they got a lot of damage there, so their runs here of getting a fast lap. Look at Henley getting loose there, trying to miss the 48 there. So Mace is probably done for the qualifying session here today, as he is damaged, and so is Cordova's. Let's get you further up live. We're back live with about 9 minutes left remaining. There's another wreck right there. That's with Rohey Vidaravu and Michael White. Boy, and they just wrecked right there. That was a big humongous pack waiting to strike right there. DeMax is the fastest on the board right there, but we're going to check right here with these guys. Michael White and Rohey Vidaravu. Vidaravu looks good to try and make the race. What about Michael White here? White does too. He's right now 9th on the board. So the 43 of Petty Enterprises looks like they'll be locked in either way as it runs. But contact there. We're going to back it up here on the film here and see what could have caused that. Just some hard racing right here. We're going to focus right here. And looks like James Silverfox is going to clip Michael White into Jacob Hart into Rohey Vidaravu. Dylan Young barely getting a little damage right there. Oh, right there, more damage right there. And Dylan Young? Dylan Young's 35th on the board. He's got a lot of damage here. Look at that. Look at the hood all bent up right there. Young's qualifying day is done. In the qualifying session here, he's got to hope that nobody passes him right now as he's 35th on the board. He cannot afford to be outside because he needed to desperately qualify his way in this session right here because his car has been fairly slow in race trim. Speaking of Dylan Young here, here's Drew Austin. That's actually the team owner of Jimmy Means Racing. So the Jimmy Means Racing stable are right now 35th and 36th actually right there. Drew Austin's actually trying to team up with Hayden Klein to try and get his car into the field, but he just cannot get that car fast enough. He's got to partner up with some people here to get that car in the draft there because that car is just not very good right now. Klein, though, looks fairly strong in the Earnhardt Childress Racing stable. 19th on the board, but running almost by himself. James Silverfox, who got into the 43 there, Michael White, who made an incident there off turn number 4. He right now runs 13th. Stephen Pollard III is really impressing me, though, in the Faith Motorsports stable right now. Just drafting off of the 3 car, the fastest car on the racetrack of Eugene DeMax, and is able to hold on to him fairly nice. And right now runs inside the top 10 as it runs. So, good run for Pollard, the runner-up from last season's championship. Randy Carpenter, oh, he's really got to pick it up. 41st on the racetrack. And as it runs right now, he's going to have to go into the Gatorade Duel and have to race his way in. Jordan Davis and Nick Mace are out on the racetrack. Nick Mace actually looked like he may have came in and actually repaired it somewhat. And now is on the racetrack drafting with Jordan Davis, one of the fastest guys on the racetrack. Joseph Clark's really got to pick it up. 40th on the racetrack. As it runs right now, he's going to have to race his way in, as that's a Hendrick Motorsports car right there. So, fairly amazing that his car is actually off the pace. Vito Corlong looks like he's kind of picked it up running with these Corweiser Racing stable cars. And, yeah, he's able to draft off these guys. He picked it up from 40th all the way up to 18th, so good move by Vito to draft with these faster cars. As Dom Capps runs 10th on the racetrack. And Mason Gordon actually runs a surprising 28th on the board. But right now looks good. Cordovas is back on the track. Jacob Hart runs 7th on the racetrack. He got a little damage after that little mishap in turns 4. Daniel Day and the Gunsman Motorsports team is just hoping they can hold on to that 32nd place right now as they run to be locked into the Daytona 500. Austin Ogo, 33rd, really has to kind of pick it up here, 33rd, which is kind of impressing me that both the 5 and the 97 are not looking that very fast. That's 35th on the board right now. So Austin is actually looking fairly bad to try and not be locked into the Daytona 500. Brandon McGuirt's not looking good either, and that's a fairly fast car as well in the Johnson Enterprises car. Skycom is 24th. This is a big pack right here. Look here, Brad Johnson, the Guns N' Motorsports team, and Jordan Franzen, the Jimmy Means Racing stable, and also Jake Williams, another Jimmy Means Racing stable. These guys were threatened to not be locked into this race. The Victoria Miller car up here. There's Trent Totter inside the top 10, running fairly well right now, drafting in this pack with his teammate Joey Murphy. Is Ashley Mace up there? Yes, drafting in this pack has paid off dividends for her. Right now inside the top 30 and inside the top 35 to be locked into the Daytona 500 with only about 4 minutes remaining. Leading this pack is William Duncan, running 23rd, good enough to try and qualify his way into the 500 by speed. But I would say this is good for these Jimmy Means racing cars. I expected these guys, the 75 and the 71, to be off the pace and to not be inside the top 35, but they're drafting up in this pack. It's paid off very well for these guys, and actually Mace almost LePaged Daggum Sky Commons right there. But right now they're still on the bubble of probably not making the race, as Franz in 32nd. Williams 26. Commons looks good to make the field 7th on the board. Brad Johnson 25th. Here comes Sean Galligan out for another run. He looks strong to make the race here. 21st. Daniel Day, he's got to pick it up a little bit. 34th. And 35th for Austin Ogo. And 33rd. Look at them guys. 33rd through 35th are right now drafting together, trying to keep up a good pace and trying to make up some ground. But Brad Johnson's kind of fell off these guys right here. I'm going to check and see the order as they run. Eugene Max and Ted Noliskowski, Evan Gattuso, Charles Sanford, and Jamie Muckley are the fastest guys on the racetrack in the top 5. But down here is the big part right here, as we only have 41 guys out here on this racetrack. Yeah, this is not going to be good for some guys. Right here, Randy Carpenter, 41st on the racetrack. Let's see where he is at right now. Carpenter is drafting with Michael Walton, Dylan Young, and James Sowerfox. So this may pay good dividends even for Dylan Young. He's 37th on the board, and he has to pick it up if he wants to make the field. And here comes perfect timing for Drew Austin in the 52 car, and someone picked it up here. That was Nicholas Guerrera in the 36 car. He picked it up somewhat. Brandon McCourt has fell down to 35th, while where's the 5 car at? I'm gonna look on the 5 here for a moment. That's Austin Ogo. Ogo in the 5 has somewhat tagged along with these guys. Ogo and Daniel Day. I don't know where'd Brandon McGuire go in the 16 car. McGuire actually pulled in, while Daniel Day and Austin Ogo tagged along with this pack, and they have picked it up. So they are looking good to make the field, while Brandon McGuire is on the final transfer spot. The 36 car of Nicholas Guerrera and the Faith Motorsports crew. And the 36 car right there. 36 on the board with only 40 minutes remaining. And I don't think Nicholas is going to do it as he's drafting off Sean Henley. I don't think it's still not going to be enough. Dylan Young's got to do something in the 70 car. He's right now drafting off James Sowerfox, but it's not doing any dividends for him. With only like 20 minutes remaining. Looks like some guys are not going to make the field here. Where's the fastest guy on the racetrack? The 3 car of Eugene Max. He's actually in pit road, and he knows he's in the field as he runs on the pole, and it's on standby now. Here comes Stephen Polo the 3rd. He is 15th on the board. He's going to make the field. The 97 of Joseph Clark. He's not going to make the field. He'll be in the qualifier for a go or go homer. Here comes James Silverfox. Silverfox in the 31 car. Looks like someone kind of picked it up there. And Silverfox Young will have to go into the qualifier race for the Gatorade Duel and have to race his way in. Muckley will take the pole. Muckley just took the pole at the last minute here in the last lap here. Muckley will take the pole here, and Young will have to qualify his way in. Drew Austin will have to do the same. 38th on the board, and so will Michael Walton. Randy Carpenter, slowest guy on the racetrack right there. He's not going to make it unless he does something here. And Coming back to the start-finish line, time is up. Luke Martin trying to make some sort of ground up here. 16th on the board. Nothing's going to happen here. Gattuso will stay in 6th. 4th for Nowakowski. And 14th for Richard Johnson. Sean Henley will get 15th. And Nicholas Guerrera will get 36th and will not make the field.
Driver,
well, that's it for now for the qualifying session. And if your number is an odd number, you will be in the Gatorade Duel number 1. If your number is in the evens, you will be in the Gatorade Duel number 2. As Jamie Muckley and Eugenia Max will be on the front row for the Daytona 500. And as for the guys down here below 35th, these guys right here will have to qualify their way in the Gatorade Duel, as there is only 40 guys eligible to make the Daytona 500. See you guys then.